Hi, I'm Corey, and today we're going to do a foraged yarrow and bay leaf ale that we found from a really great recipe called Booze for Free. So yarrow is a very common flower that comes in many different colors that you can find pretty much everywhere. This is just some yarrow that we had in our garden. We pick it and dry it for about a week. Then after that, we cut off the heads of the flowers. You can use the leaves, you can use the stems. We just prefer the taste of the flowers. We're also throwing in some bay leaves here. So we had the total weight of our yarrow and bay leaves come out to about 64 grams or so. But you can use as much as you want to your taste. So we used about 12 bay leaves in this recipe. Next, you want to boil about 5 liters of water, which is about a quarter of our total bucket's worth. Then we throw in our yarrow and bay leaf, turn off the heat, and then we let it steep for about a half an hour. As you can see there, we're just basically kind of making tea really at this point. Give it a stir and you're good to go.
This is a Coopers Daught, and I buy these at the grocery store for $12 to $13. And they have different kinds. They have lager, they have ale, they have another one it's called real ale, and they have another stout kit, and they have all kinds of different stuff you can buy. This one is just very light beer, and you can really add good flavors to it. It's basically just malt and very, very lightly hopped. For cheap, comes with the yeast, and it's good to go.
So you want to pour your malt into your sanitized and prepared bucket that you're going to be brewing your ale in. We use iodine to sanitize our buckets. So you want to pour the whole can down in there, and then you want to measure out some sugar. We just use pure white granulated sugar, about 1,000 grams of that. Just put those two in the bottom of that bucket. And then you want to grab some kind of way of straining. So we use the muslin in this situation to make sure that we don't get any flower heads or bay leaves into our beer. You want to make sure you grab all of that stuff out of there. And the hot water is going to start dissolving your sugars and your malt. You want to give that a few stirs. Make sure your spoon is also sanitized. And then you're just going to pour cold water on top of that. Pat's using a bucket because when he uses the hose, it tends to create a lot of foam. So if that is your situation, I suggest using a bucket to pour that water in. So the cold water that Pat added to the wort has brought it down to the correct temperature to measure the gravity and to start the brewing process. Here he's just taking the gravity using a hydrometer. We make sure to write down the starting gravity so that when we get to the end of the fermentation process, we can ascertain the alcohol content of the beer. Now that the wort is room temperature, Patrick can go ahead and add the yeast, and this is what's going to eat the sugars in the wort and produce alcohol as a byproduct. This usually takes anywhere between 7 days to up to 12 days or even 2 weeks for really long brews. He makes sure that he labels all the buckets because we have sometimes a few brews going on at the same time, and the start date and the start gravity.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and these are some of the beers that we've made in the past, and that actually some of them we still have. So yeah, you can delete all that out in the end. Okay? Delete it out. Delete the end of that out. Okay.